sir. Good morning. I'm excited to sit here with a SEC win for sure. I'm proud of the improvement that I thought our kids showed and the job our staff did. And I think it's a direct reflection of accountability to little things that are trying to instill in the way we operate on a daily basis here. And it's good to see them have success on the field. And hopefully we can grow from that. So thankful it was a solid game for sure. Obviously not perfect. There are very few that are, but a very solid game. Thought defensively the truths were it was solid. A few too many explosive plays. Some of that was really good throws and catches by their guys, and a couple runs we didn't really prepare for that we had to make adjustments to. They ran some midline actually, and we hadn't seen that. But I thought they bowed their neck and played well in the red zone and did well there, and obviously won the turnover battle also. So solid effort defensively and offensively is our best balanced performance for sure. Good to see our receivers make some plays and our quarterback play with some confidence, and thought our protection was good, and I thought we ran the ball really effectively against a team that really doesn't give up the run. And in the first half, I thought we ran it as well as I've seen anybody do that. So good to get one at home, and now hopefully we can build on it. This is a scary game to me. I've always thought playing there was difficult for whatever reason, and I know you can look at their schedule and say what, or their record and say whatever, but they've played a tough stretch with Kentucky, Missouri, Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss. I mean, that's a tough stretch of games, and they've been competitive at times in all of them, and it's a difficult place to play, and it's got my full attention, and hopefully our kids will be mature enough to approach this with the same hunger that they did last week.
Hey, Coach, now that you had a chance to evaluate the film, what were you happiest with Peyton's performance? What did you think he did well this week that he maybe hadn't done in weeks prior?
Well, it was really confident in the plan, and it showed. And he probably left 2 throws out there that he should have thrown, in my opinion, and he'll agree when he sees the film. He had 2 other RPOs that probably should have been thrown. I thought he left the pocket a little early a couple times, but he did good things with it. He took care of the ball. But outside of those 4 plays, it was hard to argue that he didn't play really, really, really solid. Had one ball that, I mean, was a little high, but should have been, we got to catch those too. And I thought he played really solid, really confidently, and I thought our kids responded to that around him well.
What did you see from the receivers in this game against Mississippi State where they were able to kind of get open, make some plays, and help out Peyton Thorne, who seemed to be probably the most comfortable he's been in a Power 5 game?
Well, we protected him the best that we have. That makes a huge difference. And, basically we said we're going to go back to, what I'm used to, and we're going to play with some tempo, and we're going to take our shots when we get them, and we're going to see if you guys, rise to the occasion. And in a lot of cases they did, and we've got to continue to improve. There's still some sloppy things on there with releases and correct stems, but the good thing is you can really teach hard off of games after you've won, and say we can be better, guys. It was pretty good, but man, we can really improve this a lot. But it was really good to see our receivers get some confidence and make some plays. But I think just simplifying down where we can play a little freer and faster was really beneficial.
Here I got two kind of unrelated questions, if that's okay. The first one is what Alex McPherson, is that the proper pronunciation? What he's meant to you. I mean, a guy that's just almost doesn't miss or hasn't missed.
Well, I should have said that in my opening. I thought our special teams, outside the penalty and the muffed kick that cost us a little field position, I thought our field goal unit was on point, and I thought our punting unit, the job Oscar and them did to quick snap some of those deep kicks and still have them have to go 50, 60 yards in the situations we were in there in the second half. I thought they both did a great job.
Are you completely comfortable when Alex goes out there that he's going?
Yeah, I mean, I coach him, so I take credit for him. I wouldn't know what to tell him. That comes from genetics, I think, and his genes. But I'm extremely comfortable. I think on these next few road games, he plays a huge role in getting points when we get in field position.
My other question is what Ron Roberts has meant is with a defense without much depth.
Yeah, he's.
How y'all would know to hold people down?
Well, he's one of the best in the nation of calling a game. You know, I think we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and you want to play to your strengths. And one of his strengths is definitely game day, calling a football game from a defensive perspective and making adjustments within his system. I think he's really, really gifted at that.
Hugh, we saw Caleb obviously make that first catch of the game. We've seen him more here the last few weeks, lining up out wide sometimes too. Just how much have you seen him kind of grow as the season's gone on and become kind of more reliable player for y'all? Yeah,
he's earned it. And that's what I want our program to get to is I think we live in a world now where there's just the process of earning something is kind of lacking. And he didn't have it at first, and he kept working and working and working, and you keep putting on tape good things, and good things will come your way, and that's what's happened to him. And you'll keep seeing him, and unless he just shuts it down in practice this week, you'll keep seeing him. Thought we had a shot for him too and he was going to be open, and he got grabbed there.
Talk a little more about the play of the offensive line. I noticed that you had different combinations on just about every one of the drives that you were moving the ball well in the first half. Yeah,
Jake and I met last week, and I just said I'm convinced that this is going to be better for us. And some of it is, man, listen, Cam Stutz is a warrior who loves Auburn and is giving everything he can, but he's beat up. And it's sad to see that because he would love to go every rep, but, man, you know, he's one of these veterans that we probably need to not make practice tomorrow, seriously, to try to get through the year with him. And Gunnar Britton was beat up some, and so we've got to rotate those guys to hopefully. I mean, it's a long season. We got 4 more games, and we need all of those guys to play significant snaps. And so I think rotating them is in the best interest of us, but to handle all the stuff that State throws at a team the way they did in the first half was really, really remarkable, truthfully. I expected a lot more negative plays than we had, and they protected the quarterback really well, the first half especially. The second half, they made a little adjustment on the way they still did the same thing, but they slowed their backers down and let them play behind the blocks, which was very difficult. And they did much better. We still popped a few runs. Some of that had to do with field position too, and they knew they could do a lot of things. So, but our O-line, I thought, played one of their better games.
You mentioned O-line. We've seen Connor Lew now for a majority of a game and a start. What did you see out of him in kind of having a chance to work and be the guy going into a week, and how do you respond?
Really solid. I heard, I think this morning he's going to get Freshman Player of the Week from the SEC Network. So congratulations to him. I also think Gunner's getting Player of the Week, Offensive Line of the Week. So they graded out well. I'm thankful that that he waited till the last possession to snap a ball and hit his own rear end, because that would have made, if that happened the first possession, I'd have been a nervous wreck the rest of the game. You'd seen us go under center, but I asked him what happened. He said, "I have no idea. I have no clue, Coach." And, so he did really well. Made most of the calls the right way. He's very athletic. Sometimes that hurts him a little, truthfully. He's moving at a pace that maybe he needs to move a little slower, and gets himself in a little bad position on some of the blocks he has to sustain for a length of time. But I thought he played really solid for a freshman.
Yeah, going back to Peyton, I'm always asking about Peyton. Did you have any special conversations last week with Monty or Ken Austin or both of them about, hey, what can we do to make him feel more comfortable and call plays that way or do something to him?
Yes, it was. There wasn't really a conversation. It was just, this is what we're doing, and that's it. And yep, this is what we're doing, and we'll figure out which one can either do it or not. And if none of them can, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I think Peyton loved it. And again, I thought Robbie showed some good things in practice too, but Peyton was obviously took the initiative and was playing well enough. But that discussion wasn't ugly. But you get to a point where the only thing that I know is got to be what I'm comfortable with, and this is what I think we need to do, and I'm really not up. And it's not like they were fighting me on it. I mean, because it's just, but usually it was, all right, should we have this package? Should we have this package with this? And it was just, no, this is the only thing that we're going to do.
You mentioned getting back to what you know and do and pace. Does not facing a top 75 offense the rest of the way outside of New Mexico State, which I think is 43rd, does that give you an opportunity to continue to run pace if you want to?
Certainly. We look at everything. We look at the schedule. We look at, how the schedule shakes out and, what gives us the best chance to compete, to have a chance to win the games. And, we're not always right. Sometimes we are. And so all of that has been looked at and taken into account. And I still say, man, we're a few plays from, being right there at the Georgia game and the Ole Miss game for sure, doing the plan we had. But all that gets looked at for sure. And, can we be effective, in a tempo offense? You got to win first down, which we did the other day. So, you guys literally, you take my words and you like, so let me clarify. I absolutely want us to play with tempo, but can you always? No. I don't know. I mean, I think Ole Miss goes as fast as anybody, but if you watch our game against them, we did some things that got them out of that slowed them down. And so it's not like I can just walk out there and say, hey, forget it, we're going. That's not very wise. But when we have the opportunities to, we should be ready to. And that's what we had gotten away from. Because you can't, if you don't practice it, it's not going to happen with tempo. I don't care what you call it. You can call it hurricane. But if you hadn't practiced it in hurricane pace, it's not going to be what you want. And that's what we had to get back to.
Coach, do you have an update on Xavier Miller and Marcus Harris?
Both, I think, are going to be fine. So, nothing that seemed to be lingering.
Hugh, I think between Keldrick and Connor and Kyan Lee, I think 7 starts for those guys, and then Jeremiah has played a big role. I guess just how validating is that of what you guys were able to do late in the recruiting process when you arrived?
I think the guys we were able to get to come our way from the high school ranks in the short time we had. We hit on, I think, most of them. Honestly, I think I don't want to start mentioning names because I'll forget somebody, but I think all of those guys are going to have a real shot to play significant roles in our development here as a program, and those you've mentioned already have.
It seemed to be in the second half on Saturday, maybe some hiccups in the offense. You scored 24 total points in the first half and just a 3 in the second half. What do you put that on, and kind of what was the difference in the first half and the second half when it came to offensive success?
I take great. I think y'all would all say, man, I have been very transparent with you guys since I've been here, maybe to a fault. And but I think genuine relationships kind of are like that. And so, will you permit me to be transparent with this, and we can have an honest dialogue about it, okay? I think it's pretty, you guys can say whatever you want, and whether it's opinion, whether it's facts, and I saw many of you, that was your take on it. Do you realize we had one possession in the third quarter? All right, what did we do on that? Got points. Pretty good drive. Do you realize in the fourth quarter that we had the football on the -3, the -5, and the -14, one possession on the 30 that I punted on 4th and 1. But we were up 2 scores. That's the only possessions we had. We were up 3 scores on one of them, 2 scores on the other, and they're bringing gut cross and super field missile every play as we're backed up trying to get into the game. So I would love and I was aggressive. I actually threw it for a first down, and we got called for a penalty and back. I threw it 3 times, which is pretty crazy probably. But I would love after this for you to go show me what aggressive looks like on the board, blocking super field missile and gut cross. I want to know. So absolutely, you guys that and ladies that I mean, you just say things and you don't. I mean, that's the facts. So I don't know how to be really more aggressive. That's the possessions we had. That was it. So I would have loved to have had some possessions like we did in the first quarter where we started at the 25 or the 30. But I promise you, I was not going to be aggressive up 2 scores on the 5-yard line or 3-yard line and let something crazy happen and a tip ball and they return it for a touchdown and all of a sudden momentum flips, and that would not be based in good wisdom.
Hey, Coach, I know they struggled last week back here, Vanderbilt, but there are times this year they've shown life offensively. I think they scored first against Georgia. Just from an offensive standpoint, what are you dealing with this Saturday up in Vandy?
Yeah, I'm impressed with some of the things they do. And I don't know what Swan's status is. I don't really know if he could come back or not, but maybe I'd love to know that. Seals, and then this kid they brought in last week, Taylor, is very athletic. And that receiver is special. Shepard, I think that may be his name. But, man, they make me nervous. You watch the way they competed against Georgia, and particularly at home. I think they're a different team there. And I've been impressed with Clark Lee every time I've been around him. And, they're going to be in the right spot. And they're going to play hard. They're going to do the right things. And if you go up there and you don't get some momentum going your way, I've been there with a really good Ole Miss team now. And it was tough. And so they've got our full attention.
Coach Jarquez Hunter, obviously he had his biggest day of the season on Saturday. Can you talk about how you continue to move him along in this offense and lean on him a little bit more? You've had a kind of a deep running back rotation so far.
Yeah, I'd love to give all Damari and Batee and Jeremiah. They all have been impressive when they've got their chances at times. And Jarquez is obviously getting the bulk of the load right now, and he's earned that the way he practices and leads and comes to work. And it's good. Truthfully, we're not designing anything really new. I think we're just getting better He's getting better at being more patient and understanding the blocking. Our line's getting a little better at blocking. We're a little more balanced where the boxes may not be as heavy. And so I think all of that is a combination of why he's seeing more success.
You talk about Peyton having more confidence on Saturday in the game plan. Do you feel the same thing from the receivers as well? Because they look like they were, playing with a lot more, I guess, a lot more freedom, like you said, on Saturday.
That was our message all week, man. Clear the clouds, clear whatever it is, and let's play fast and free. If we make a mistake, play the next play, and we'll evaluate it. And if you make too many, obviously, we'll have to go another direction. But the game plan's not going to be complicated. You're going to get plenty of reps at it. Now go play loose and free and make some plays when they come your way. And there's no question there was more fun being had. Now you're going to get tested again. We're going to have some game where we have 3 or 4 3-and-outs, and everybody's going to. That's when you really find out how you handle those times. I think is that just tells you who you're really going to be long term in life, and that's what we've got to have from our team. Is, man, let's just keep finding a way, and hopefully that's the way we'll respond. But they had more fun, and obviously we played better.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.